I play so many roles. Like, I'm up to so many different things. I'm not a one type kind of guy. I'm not a one type kind of thing. So, and I recommend there's a fullness to that. There's a much more complete development of your entityness, your character that comes from that. So I really encourage you to open your mind and realize that you can really become all these things. It may take some time in the relative world. It might take some practice. But if you're not in a rush and you just accept that you have these many different parallel trajectories that all together help you become who you need to be, who you need to become to fulfill your blueprint, because that's really what success is. It's not about making it in the music industry. That's just a component. That's just a small, tiny component of who you are here to be. So if you think from the limited earthly point of view that that is all that you have to become, and that that's what you have to put all your time and energy into, and that will define who you are as a human being, then you've just greatly limited who you are. From the broader perspective of yourself, you would know that all these different things that come up on your path that excite you, they're all completing you. They're all like putting all the pieces of the puzzle back together of who you really are, so that in this physical life, you can express yourself to the fullest of your soul's ability. But if you don't allow yourself to develop in all these different ways, you're not going to be able to be as complete of a package, and the execution or the successful manifestation and exuberance or radiance of that soul blueprint that you have for this particular life will not come about as fully as it otherwise could. It's like not turning the light all the way up, or not cutting the diamond in its many facets to make it as brilliant as it could be, just having like 5 sides instead of like 80 sides to it. So allow yourself, see yourself like a crystal that every time new sides are cut, you're being cut, you're being cut, you're being cut into a more perfected shape, into a more full expression, a more full vessel, a more capable vessel that's more capable of realizing its desired potential as an incarnate being. Now, not to stress you out by saying all this, because at the same time, you already are all that. So it is really about sitting back sometimes and just knowing the vibration, feeling the totality and the completeness and the wholeness of who you really are already at that level. But then doing that, inevitably, while you're still breathing and pooping and eating and smoking maybe, you will find that as you allow your conscious mind to sort of sink back into that blueprint space of the soul, of the true beingness, that restful place of freedom, of expansiveness, of that broader perspective of yourself, you will find that something, you're not going to stay in that meditation for 3 years straight. It's very unlikely. It happens for some people, but it's very unlikely. And it's not higher or lower than the remanifesting thing. But you'll find that after a few minutes, maybe even, or a half an hour, or a few days of doing this sort of meditative approach, something in you will be activated. It's like the soul kind of taps on these dull, dim areas within your energy system, your bodies, your mental body, emotional body, energy body, physical body. And it just kind of starts waking up these elements, these components. And it starts arousing this energy in you, which comes with inspirations and which comes with visions and images and desires. So if you can allow all that to happen impersonally, meaning to not define these things as being meaningful to you in some specific way, other than just all of this is part of my expression and I'm allowing it to happen through me. So that you don't get too bogged down about anything. You don't like build walls around things. You don't get too insistent about how and when things should come about. You just kind of allow that to free flow. Allow yourself to be activated by your own meditations, by your own taking a step back and relaxing back into that soulness, that beingness that you are already, that completeness that's already here. That completeness will start waking up certain elements within you, and those elements will want to come out. They will want to give voice to themselves. And as they go through that process of wanting to give voice to themselves and manifestation and action and expression, you will hit your blockages. You will hit your shadow points. You will hit your limiting ideas, which will be the causes of your frustration and your suffering and your struggle and your contractions. So you meditate on who you are. That completeness will activate certain new parts in yourself that have already been there but dormant. They've been asleep, and it's waking them up. It's waking them up. You get these inspirations. You get these new visions. You want to go for it, but then your limiting mind comes in, and it's like, oh, but then it means I need to do this all within the next 3 weeks, otherwise this or that. Or it'll come in other lack beliefs, like, oh, but how am I going to do this? I don't have the resources. I don't have the friends to do this. There's nobody around me. I'm not in the right environment. So all these things are going to come up at an accelerated rate because you're activating new portions of yourself. That's exciting. It should not be feared. It should be welcomed and embraced as a process. And then this gives you the opportunity, a highlighted opportunity, the microscope on your limiting beliefs kind of opportunity, to release those beliefs, to relax those perspectives, and to bring that broader, wider, more expansive perspective into your human mind. To remember the nature of God, to remember the nature of completion, to remember the nature of timelessness, to remember that you already are everything you could ever become, and to bring that peace and vastness into the mind-body experience, if you will. To meet your limiting beliefs with the broader faith-based, surrender-based, knowledge-based, true knowledge-based perspective of how the universe works and stuff. And then you will ease those smaller perspectives into alignment. They will open up, they will change their perspective to then allow you to voice it, to then allow you to express it, to radiate it, to become that, to manifest it. And then you will start to see the manifestations, they're beginning to line up for you.